Hello folks, today's t-shirt is Godzilla. I like this one because the image is the model that Aurora models made of Godzilla back in a long time ago. My new podcast, Letters to a Dead Friend About Zen, is up now. I'm using Podbean to host it, and it's under review for iTunes, I guess. I will leave the Podbean URL down there. If you can't find it on iTunes today, you might be able to find it tomorrow. I'm not really sure how these things work. It took literally 2 hours of me sitting down with very concentrated effort to try to get it up as much as I got it now, and I'm going to have somebody look at it in the next few days and see how many mistakes I made. But I was able to listen to it, so it's up there in some form, so go listen to it. The link will be below. Today I was looking at that Soto Zen page on Facebook I don't usually look at, but today there was a letter on it, and I want to read it to you. I'm sharing some personal feelings about the practice down here, I hope in a funny way. Sometimes I feel like a great Buddha. I manage to feel freely what happens, not judging, and an ineffable flavor floats around me, through me. There's something like a soft and funny smile which lies on a face which I can't call my face, in quotes, anymore. I feel deep as the cosmos, and natural, common. My mint tea and my mind tea join, and that's so perfect. And I could even speak endlessly about Buddhist concepts, and I could even shut up and sit down. Then I remember that I've got a lot of work to do, copies to correct, etc. I'm a French teacher currently on holidays, and all of that wonderful and common bliss tears apart. I'm lazy and uncomfortable with my laziness. Nothing lasts, they say. Maybe that my illusory bliss and my illusory realization by nature can't last. I guess you can figure out what he means. But dudes, that's frustrating. How do you guys and girls deal with that kind of feeling? With the easy ending of any samadhis or dhyanas or nice feelings or whatever's the name? I know the best answer is probably practice again, go back to the zafu, do work the samu way, etc. But I'm asking for insights, feelings, psychological stuff about that very gap, hard to discern, where one goes from one state to another, from Buddhist bliss to maybe common worries. Whenever I spoke to Nishijima Roshi about the various sort of weird distractions that happened in my practice of Zazen, things that were very much like what this guy is talking about, he had one answer, and it was, that's just the content of your Zazen. And hearing that answer was really frustrating because, like this guy, I would have moments in Zazen where everything was feeling like the way Zazen is supposed to feel, or the way you imagine meditation is supposed to feel, that bliss and the floating and the freedom and the whatever. And a moment later it'd be like punctured, and then you're back to worrying about what somebody said the other day, or how you're going to get to work tomorrow, or, what things you got to do, and, whatever else. The usual daydreams and worries and stuff that you get in Zazen. And my teacher had always said that even when that's happening, that's still the content of your Zazen. That's still okay. And the point of Zazen practice, Shikantaza practice, just sitting practice, is to learn to be okay with all of it. So you're going to be okay with the bliss state happening and the dhyanas and the samadhis and whatever the hell else you got. And you're going to be okay with, it's just worrying about how I'm going to get my tires changed in 2 weeks, or I don't know what it is you're thinking about. But whatever it is, it'll come up. And this is really, really important to the practice. This is not a trivial thing. And I think I tended to think of it like, yeah, Nishijima, that's just the content of my Zazen. Come on, let me get back to the real stuff. And I would kind of project out into this future where everything was the real stuff, where I was just really getting the real Zazen thing, the great and not bothering with all that other stuff. But there's also a very good reason why Zazen isn't one of those practices that emphasizes those special states. This is why when people try to shoehorn it into Zazen, I'm always like, oh man, you're just screwing up the whole thing. When they try to go, oh, koan introspection practice where you can have an enlightenment experience, that's what you should do. Those kind of things. When what's his name and Buddhist Geeks is out there saying, yeah, take drugs. They're all getting it wrong. Because the thing you want to do is be with this ordinary state and see what this ordinary state is, because this is really special. The problem with those special states of insight, those dhyanas, samadhis, and even the drug experiences, isn't that you can't learn things from them. I hate double negatives, so I always try to avoid them. It isn't that you can't learn things. You can learn things. You could have an insight into the nature of reality, and it could be a genuine insight into the nature of reality by doing koan introspection practice and having an enlightenment experience through that, doing whatever other practices are guaranteed to make the kundalini rise, or have these kind of special meditative experiences. You might even have a genuine, real insight after taking some shrooms or some ayahuasca or whatever the hell else you want to take. I'm not even saying it's impossible to have them. What I am saying is that when you do a practice like that is intended to make something happen, the problem isn't that the thing will happen or that there will be a false thing that will happen or any of that. I mean, that could be some problem. It is not that these things don't work. I mean, some of them do. Some of these techniques that they give you work in that they are effective. They will do what's advertised, which is, make you have a special experience. The problem is, as with all special experiences, the special experience is very seductive, and it becomes something that pulls you away from your regular life. So if you have, as a result of Zen practice or any kind of practice or drugs or whatever, a special experience that's a genuine insight, that will tend to pull you off to that. You'll tend to look at that as being the thing that it's all about, and everything else in life will pale in comparison, because it has to. If you have samadhi or a dhyana state or one of these other things, the normal state of washing the dishes or standing around waiting for a bus or raking the leaves or whatever it is, it's never going to be as good as that. It's never going to be as spectacular. It's never going to be as exciting. It's never going to be as wonderful. There's never going to be enough insights in that. You're always going to be craving the other experience. And Zazen is intended to get you out of that mindset where you're always craving another experience other than the one you're having, and get you into just being with this experience no matter what it is. That is really significant. So whenever my teacher was saying that's just the content of your Zazen, he was trying to point me away from losing this preciousness of normal life just as it is and going off somewhere else. And the reason normal life just as it is the most important thing is, well, Dogen talks about this in an essay he wrote called Jinzu, which means mystical powers or supernatural powers or paranormal powers. And it's something that I wrote about in my book, It Came From Beyond Zen. He never in that essay says that supernatural powers don't exist. He's not like a Richard Dawkins guy saying, get off this, forget about there's no superpowers, there's no God, there's no supernatural, there's no, extrasensory perception or whatever. He's not saying that. He, in fact, seems to admit that, sometimes these things happen. But he always says these are the small miracles. The great miracle is the miracle that no one can doubt. So even if you can levitate or read other people's minds or have a bliss experience, have a samadhi, have some, incredible insight. The reason you can have that incredible insight, that samadhi, that bliss, is because of this dumb, silly rocks and cat poop and flies and fleas and television sets and books and DVD box sets and late for work and dinners on the stove world. This regular world is why you can have those states and why you can have those insights and why those miracles can occur. Because of this. And this that you're living in right now is the biggest mystery of all. I mean, why is there something rather than nothing? Why are you even here watching this video? That little smartphone that you have in your hand. The fact that you have eyeballs to see. The fact that you have ears to listen. And the fact that the sounds coming out of my mouth have meaning to you. That is an incredible mystery, and that is the one we are trying to look at in Zazen practice. So, it's just the content of your Zazen. There you go. New book is out now. Podcast is out now. You can donate to me via PayPal and Patreon. Please do, because that's how I make my living. That's how I continue doing what I do. And we'll see you later. So long. Bye.